Hi, in today's video we'll discuss dark feminine archetypes. My name is Alina, I am a mindset and energy coach. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. And if you feel some impulse, response in your soul while you listen to this video, you can join my program Dark Feminine Archetypes. More information in the description box. First thing first, why do we even need to understand dark feminine archetypes and what is it about exactly? Archetypes, as it is, by Carl Jung, are collective characters or images in the collective subconsciousness. And we all play these archetypes, just depends on the situation. And we all combine different archetypes within throughout our life. When we tap into our natural archetypes, we are the most visible. We easily earn money. We easily build relationships and so on. Why? Because we are at the right place within us, within our nature. So archetypes help with this a lot because they help to understand our true nature, and that's the most important thing. In terms of dark feminine archetypes, what is the difference between classic archetypes and dark feminine archetypes? Dark feminine archetypes are all about the dark feminine within a woman. I have a video about it, you can watch it, you'll find it in the description box. So therefore, the dark feminine archetypes are presenting us different facets of the dark feminine within a woman. And the dark feminine energy is essential right now, believe me, because women are finally awakening to their power, and when they tap into the dark feminine archetypes, they are unstoppable in everything. And why do we need the dark feminine archetypes is also a reasonable question. The dark feminine archetypes are needed for the embodiment for these women who are lacking self-love, confidence, boundaries, or you just feel that it's your nature, like you're listening to me right now and you feel, yes, this is about me, like I just want it and something deeply resonates with me right now. I need this energy, I need to embody the dark feminine in me through many different facets. Then this is for you, and that's a huge signal that is true. So let's dive into the exploration of every dark feminine archetype. For your better understanding, I divided the dark feminine archetypes to different boxes, let's call it this way. So the dark feminine facet of the lover are 3 archetypes in the system of the dark feminine archetypes. So the lover in the dark feminine form has the Seductress, the Siren, and the Femme Fatale. They are 3 facets of the dark feminine within the lover. If, for example, you know that you have the lover within, or you are interested in embodying its energy, but through the dark feminine facet, through a completely different shade, then this is for you. So the first archetype we'll discuss will be the Seductress. The Seductress is a woman who is not afraid of her sexuality, her sexual energy, and her beauty. And more than that, she uses all of this for her purposes and for her goals. For example, the character of Naomi from The Wolf of Wall Street. She was the embodiment of the seductress there. She used her power, but you know what kind of power? The power that seduces a man, the power that lures men to her. And not only men, just in general people. So it's the dark lover. She's not afraid of using her power. She's not afraid of using her sexual energy for her goals. And you know, the main difference between the lover and the seductress is that she's not afraid to be a bad girl, you know. She's not afraid to use it. She's not afraid to embody it fully because she knows she has it and she's not afraid of it. That's the main difference. The next archetype we'll discuss will be the Siren. She's also a dark feminine side of the lover, but she's different to the seductress, for example, in case that she's really dangerous. If, for example, Naomi from The Wolf of Wall Street is still really soft and feminine in some way, even though she's a bad girl again, the Siren isn't like this. The Siren is really dangerous. She lures you in to her presence, her energy, and she can destroy you because she wants it, you know? That's the thing about the Siren. Plus, when we think about the Siren, we think about a woman with a really mysterious energy, with a really magnetic energy, because the Siren just sings and she attracts her victims to her singing. She just can be herself, and this will be already magnetic. And if this resonates with you, I truly recommend you to join my program Dark Feminine Archetypes, because this program will help you to embody all dark feminine archetypes, and later you will choose what archetype will be your main one. So the Siren is incredibly magnetic, irresistible, and dangerous, and she's fine about it. She's fine about being this way because it helps her to achieve her goals and to get what she wants. The third dark feminine archetype will be the Femme Fatale. It's also a shade of the lover, but through the dark feminine energy. She's also extremely seductive, magnetic, sexy, sex appealing, but it's just, the presence, the outer presence, the facade. Because if we look into her internal world, she's extremely dangerous. She's more dangerous than the Siren, for example, because she's really logical creature. She uses her logic, she uses her power, her grounded dark feminine power with her feminine presence, with her femininity, and that's extremely dangerous because on the outer she's so feminine, she's so alluring, magnetic, sexy, but within her she's like the most dangerous Lilith you'll ever experience in your entire life. A great example of the femme fatale from movies is Catherine Trammell from Basic Instinct. Like, that's the perfect femme fatale. She was manipulative. She thought 10 steps ahead. She wasn't afraid of men. And of course, we all remember this scene when four different men asked one woman the questions about if she killed someone or not. And you know what? She dealt with it perfectly. And if a woman with, different archetype would just, shrinked in and, didn't want to even talk to them and was so afraid, no. She controlled the situation here. And they feared her, even though she was a one woman. That's the power of the femme fatale archetype. The next archetype I would call the dark feminine shade of the Huntress. So there are the villain and the Avenger. Let's start from the villain. The villain is a classic example of the villain feminine character through movies, series, and so on. And a great example here is Catherine Pierce from The Vampire Diaries. She was a really magnetic villain and was an embodiment of the villain archetype in this series. And the thing is about the villain, we shouldn't be afraid of this part within us. Because I'm talking of the archetypes we all have within. Even though we embody it or not, we still have it within in our collective subconsciousness. So we shouldn't be afraid of the villain because who she really is within us. This is a part of us that is the opposite of the victim within us. And we all have the victim and the villain within us. So the victim is a part of us who is lazy, who has the victim mindset, who doesn't believe in herself, who's not confident, who's insecure, and so on. And again, we all have this. But the villain within us, she's the opposite. She's confident, she's dangerous, she knows what she wants, and she always gets it, and she has a lot of aggression within that helps her to get what she wants. So therefore, you shouldn't be afraid about embodying this archetype in you because it's also essential and it can help you to get what you want. More will be explained in my program, The Dark Feminine Archetypes. More information right down below. The fifth feminine archetype is the Avenger. Who is she and how is she different, for example, to the villain or to the Huntress? Because the Huntress energy is really similar to the Avenger. But the difference here is that she's more revengeful. She's more righteous. She seeks for justice in everything. Example here is Katniss Everdeen from Hunger Games. She was really revengeful. She was embodying this dark feminine power in her, but through the Huntress, through the masculine energy. And she felt that she's right about her power, and she was more fearful about who she was. That's the difference. And women need this archetype when they feel like they have to stop being the victim in their reality. Like, for example, if you cannot say no to a man, or you are afraid of men, or you are afraid to take up the space in your reality, you need this archetype the most, because it will help you to embody this concentrated power, dark feminine power in you. The next archetype I'd like to discuss here will be the dark facet of the mystic. It's the witch. And what's the difference between the mystic, for example, and the witch? The witch is more about, the dark feminine power, the dark control she has within, and she's not afraid of it. And I'm not saying that, of course, it's about women who do magic, who do witchcraft, because the witch is also about them. But if you don't do these things, it doesn't mean that you don't have the witch within you, because we are all the witches, because we are women. We were burned at stakes just because, of this power. That's how powerful, again, this archetype too, because it connects a woman to the divinity in her, to this endless power, to her intuition that she can use in her favor. And the last archetype I'd like to discuss here is the Dark Queen. It's like the queen in the classic feminine archetypes, but through dark feminine energy again. And I can say it's the Lilith, as it's the embodiment of the Lilith. And why is that? Because the Dark Queen has all the archetypes within, all the dark feminine archetypes within. She can turn on this archetype when she wants to, or turn off if she doesn't want it, and so on. That's the difference. She embodies this concentrated dark feminine power in her. She's not afraid of anything. She's powerful. Really, really powerful, grounded, responsible, mature. That's the difference between the other archetypes. There are a couple of others dark feminine archetypes, but I will not discuss it here because you will learn more in my program, The Dark Feminine Archetypes. Again, the information right down below. But anyway, let me know what you think. Have you found yourself in the description of these archetypes, or maybe you felt like you want to embody this archetype in you? Maybe you felt that your body is responding to this energy and you want it. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. Please give this video a thumbs up and see you next time. Bye.